All right. Tonight, we're going to be diving in to Danny Deatsvito, which, if you can tell from the shape of the bottle, is an Elijah Craig barrel-proof single barrel. This is a tatered up pick, as you can tell by the sticker, something kind of fun. The reason it's called Deatsvito is because it's actually a pick that came from the Deatsville warehouse at Heaven Hill. Now, for those who don't know, the Deatsville warehouse is one of the more coveted warehouses at Heaven Hill. That's where some of the Parker's Heritage comes out of. I've heard some of the batches of Old Fitzgerald has come out of there. So a lot of the heavy hitters coming out of Heaven Hill are coming out of the Deatsville warehouse. So this was a pick that one of our local stores here, Highlands Wine Cellar, was able to pick. I was lucky enough to be a part of this pick. Highlands Wine Cellar, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this pick, partaking and helping pick this barrel. This is a monster. And I know there's so many Elijah Craig picks out there, and they can be, hit or miss, right? Some are great, some are just, okay. Just kind of depends. This one came in at 10 years old. I'm going to flip the bottle around here. You can take a look at it. 10 years old, right at that 119 proof point, and it is a monster. So to find a 10-year-old pick coming out of the Deatsville warehouse, it's something special, something delicious. It's a bottle that I think I probably bought 3 or 4 of. Obviously, having partaken in the pick and being a part of it, it was a very special one to me. And you get a really cool sticker being, Danny Deatsvito, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick review of this bottle, talk about it. I do want to know, as I'm getting this poured up, have you had a pick from Heaven Hill from the Deatsville warehouse, specifically an Elijah Craig? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's great? There's a lot of, if you go look up some of the forums and, different places that talk about some Elijah Craig picks, there's a lot of hype behind this warehouse. So people nerd out over it. I nerd out over it. But let's go ahead and dive into this. I'll talk about what I get on the nose and what I get on the palate. Okay. Let's put this back up here. Okay. So let's dive right in. So like I said, 10 years old, 119.4 proof. This thing is a brown sugar bomb. Oh, there's a little bit of nuttiness. It's not much on the nose. But there's a lot of brown sugar. Oh, it's sweet. There's no ethanol. You don't really smell, being a 10-year-old bourbon, you'd think you're going to get a lot of the oak and the age on there. You don't really smell a whole lot. It's very soft. A lot of just sweet notes in there. Brown sugar through and through, though. There is a little bit of a plum. Just a little bit. But I could smell some of the funk and the nuttiness of a Heaven Hill product. But it's not overpowering. Not like a traditional Elijah Craig barrel proof pick. It smells great. It smells wonderful. Really well balanced. So the Highlands Wine Cellar store, they're in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. They get a lot of great picks in. They do some monster picks and obviously some of the Heaven Hill stuff they produce. This is their 3rd Deatsville pick. So to get, that amount of Deatsville picks is incredible. I haven't actually seen another store that has gotten a Deatsville. So this is a monster. Shout out to Highlands Wine Cellar. Great store. Check them out if you haven't been there. A lot of great selections in spirits, wine, everything. But they do some killer barrel picks here in Colorado. All right, let's dive into the palate. Okay. It is warm. You taste that proof, but it's one of those pours that is mouth-watering. It sits right in the side. It's very I talked about this before. It's kind of cotton candy-esque where like it hits you. It's kind of spicy when it first hits, and then it just kind of dissipates. It's like eating, if you were to take a bite of a cloud. Imagine that. That's what happens with this pour. It just kind of hits you hard. There's no burn going down. It's all in the mouthfeel. You get some of that cinnamon, that spice. You do taste a little bit of that sugar, maybe a white sugar in there. There is no ethanol on it at all. Oh, yeah. That is just so approachable, so unlike an off profile from your typical Elijah Craig pick. And if you've had, I'd be curious if you could let me know in the comments if you've had an Elijah Craig pick. I think a lot of them have a similar profile. You had obviously the batch C923, which was, in my opinion, very off profile from your typical Elijah Craig barrel proofs. This one kind of falls in that same category for me. I probably should do a blind, throw C923 in, throw this in. My friend Mike, he's got another Deatsville. I think he's got the second one that we had, which that one was phenomenal. I might have to throw some of the heavy hitters from Elijah Craig in the mix and see which one comes out on top. That might be a fun one. Mike, we might have to make that blind happen. So just saying. But this is incredible pour. And this is where if you see any call out for Deets, this one actually says on the label Deets 3. If you look, that label right there, it actually says that it came from the Deatsville warehouse. And I mean, obviously with the Danny Deatsvito, you can't miss it. So, but monster pick. Let me know your thoughts if you've had a Deatsville pick. I haven't seen too many, but this is a great pour. Definitely one I'm glad I have a backup of and a couple more. So I appreciate you watching, checking out the review. Let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.